Hi, Jacquelyn. Rhonda Constant, your favorite hometown medium, physical energy healer, oracle card advisor, paranormal investigator. So we're going to talk to your dad today, but I like to explain to my first timers. I think you're first. I do so many, I'm not sure, but I see, hear, feel, sense, know. They talk to me, but they also show me pictures, and I call it spiritual charades. It So I describe the picture that they show me to the best of my ability. They don't always tell us what we want to hear. They'll tell us what we need to hear. They don't always tell the whole story. They just tell enough so you know what they're talking about, because it's none of my business. So they don't always tell every detail and everything. So they just get enough to you. So hopefully you understand what they're talking about. And this is not an exact science. Sometimes you have to think outside the box a little bit, especially if I mention a name. If I say John, it's a male. It's at least a male with a J or a JO name. It's not always the exact name. So I think that's my little spiel. And okay, he he's already come in. He came towards me like this, like, give me a big old hug, like this. And then he came over here and he looked this way. He goes, "Is this what we're going to do? Is this what we're going to do? What are we going to do? Can she see me?" So you might look right in here. Wait a minute, see if he's still here. Yes, right in here. You could see. You might see the might be a little wavy here, something from his energy. You could see something here. I don't know, but he's got a space right here, like he's looking. He's like, okay, he's curious. He's curious as to what we're going to do. So he's right in on it. He called he called you something that sounded like Pookie Bear. May not be exact. It's kind of like the names that I get, but something close to that. Pookie Deer, Pookie Bear. He said, he kind of throws himself back like this, and he goes, "You're wondering if I'm okay?" He goes, "I'm perfectly fine." And he gives this really loud, I don't think I could even imitate it, laugh. It's kind of like a belly laugh. He kind of just lets it cut loose. He said, "You'd be surprised how good I am." He says, "You're worried about him feeling now like he felt when he left." He says, we don't hurt anymore because we don't have that physical body. We leave our physical body here. That's what hurts. We don't hurt. Only the body hurts. And when they get this close, they make my head itch like I have head lice. So if you see me scratching, it's either from them touching me or it's because they're close and it makes my head itch. It's just the way their energy affects me. Um, I'm asking him if he was in pain when he passed. He said there was some, even if he didn't do it out loud, there was some moaning and groaning. But he says once you get your foot on the other side, it's like a big relief because you don't have that physical body that hurts. He's saying it's like He wants me to tell you, like, let's say somebody's driving down the road and they have a car wreck. They actually leave their body right before the moment of impact. So I'm not sure why he wants me to tell you this, but they always have a reason for anything that they show or tell. But like right before the moment of impact, we actually leave our body. So we don't feel that. Like he just wants to explain it and make it very clear to you so you don't worry about him. He said when he left, he saw a beautiful angel. And I mean, this is a very large angel with their wings spread out. Sorry, he's making me itch. He heard the music, and I've been allowed to hear the music 2 or 3 times. There I go itching again, sorry. I want to scratch my whole head. He's really strong. And it's a music like you can't, I could never explain it. I could not explain it. I've been given little snippets of it, and it's just can't straight describe it. But it makes you feel so loved and so at peace. And that's what he felt when he saw the angel and he heard that music. It was like, and he relaxed. Because he knew that's where he needed to be. He's also showing there's somebody else stepping up. He wants you to know that there was somebody that he knew waiting, that was waiting for him. I can't quite see who it is yet. They're kind of hanging in the back because they don't want to step forward because this isn't their time to talk. Sometimes some of them just butt right in. It's, well, I felt like it was a male coming. There's two. They're staying too far back. You're going to have to come closer. There's a woman. It's either his mother or his grandmother. Kind of. All right, you're going to have to come a little closer. Well, I put my hand on my hip because that's the energy I'm getting from her. It's with that type of an attitude where she would have her hand on her hip, be a little stern, be a little judgmental, maybe. So if that helps you understand who this is better. Kind of like somebody who maybe criticized a little more than she should have. And I can't, if his mother and grandmother are both gone, then it's both of them. Because I'm seeing very faintly, like I said, they don't want to step forward far enough for me to really see. This one has shorter, curlier hair, glasses, but if she was older, we all have glasses. Anyway, she doesn't want to step any further. She doesn't want to step close enough for me to describe her. Just wants you to know, he wants you to know that they were there, but there's also a male. I feel like it's more like a grandfather to him, but he feels like a father. So his grandfather, he could have been close enough to him that he would have that fatherly feeling for him. And they were there with the angel. So he knew he was safe. He said at some point right before he left here, and it should have been when people were there with him, before he left, he was laying, he's showing laying on his back and reaching up. Well, he would have been reaching this way, but he'd be laying on his back, reaching up because he saw them and he was reaching for them. So you or somebody else might have seen this. It's because he saw them, which is extremely common. He said he could hear all the voices around him that were here, not the ones up there, but the ones he can hear them. He could hear them too. But he could hear all the voices around him. And he felt a little frustrated because he couldn't speak back. He couldn't acknowledge that he heard what everybody was saying. And he's going, yes. He's telling you yes. So whatever you ask him right before he left, he's going, yes. And I love you too. Now he's showing playing a game like Tiddlywinks. Tiddlywinks. Where you put one chip down and you take another chip and you flip it, or maybe he's playing quarters. He's showing it as Tiddlywinks, but it could be quarters. You guys ever play quarters and try to flip the quarter in the beer or in the glass or whatever's in the glass? I guess it doesn't have to be beer. That's the way we play it. He's showing playing. He said quarters game, but he's showing it as Tiddlywinks. Anyway, he's talking about an ant. An ant. I don't know if it means your aunt or his aunt yet. An ant. I feel more like it's his aunt. He's not saying why he mentioned her. And he's not even giving me an initial to help. Okay. He says, how could I be mad at you? And he got really soft and really quiet and really somber about it. He says, how could I be mad at you? That's not possible. There's no reason to be mad at you. He says, I love you with my whole heart. He goes, my whole heart, 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 heart. Sound like he's echoing. I love you forever and a day. I want you to be happy, and I'm going to help you to be happy. You will see the sun again. I don't know if you can hear that because I've got my back door shut, but one of my neighbors has the weirdest little sound. It's got to be a horn on some little bitty vehicle. Some little bitty, it's not like a horn on a truck. It's honk. It's going beep, 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 beep. So whenever anything like that happens while I'm doing a reading, it's another sign for you. So it's a weird little beep, beep. When you hear this, and you might not hear it with these ears, you might hear it with these ears. And believe me, there are ears up here. You might hear it. I don't know, you might crank this up. Maybe you can hear it. But it wasn't that loud. So I don't know if this will pick it up. But anyway, you might hear it. For some reason, he's making me think of the Roadrunner. Do you know the cartoon, the Roadrunner and the Coyote? Where he goes, me, me, meow. Sorry if that was a poor imitation. This was a little bit different beep, but anytime you hear something like that, and you're going to hear it walking through the store, maybe on the radio or TV show, or who knows where, that'll be one of your signs. But weird, I ask them to do different things. Everybody knows the butterflies and feathers and stuff. But I'm trying to see what he's trying to show me. And he's making my eyes go back and forth. It's like he paces in your house. It's like he's showing the living room, and it's like he's making me watch him go back and forth, back and forth. He's just pacing. Can't say that he feels, I can't say that he feels impatient. Can't say that he feels not really nervous. I don't know why he's, I don't know, see how he's going to let you know that he's there. Okay, I don't know what this is. He's in your living room and he's holding up a big blanket. Can't tell. He's not showing the blanket clear enough. Sometimes they'll show the exact thing. Is there a blanket in your living room that was his, or that he used when he was there, or there's a reason he's holding up this blanket in your living room, or it's a throw thing, like when you're laying on the couch and you might put it on. It may not be like a big ass blanket, but he's making a big point of trying to get me to see it, but he's not getting it in very strong. It has some kind of design on it, or some kind of squares, but I can't. Did he give you a blanket when you got married or had some kind of special occasion? I don't know what it is, but anyway, he's making a point out of this blanket. And so watch for this blanket or throw thing, whatever it is, to, I'm calling it a blanket, but it may not be what you would consider a blanket. So watch for it to move or fall off the couch or change a little bit, I don't think it's going to actually stand up in the air like he's holding it. So he's making my head itch again. So he's not telling me how he's going to let you know he's in this living room, other than you might feel this energy going back and forth through the middle of your living room. He's going to show me better than that. Well, he's showing me he's right around you. I mean, I can feel him. He's trying to show me how he is around you. And I can feel him really strong, but I can feel him. Give me just a second. Okay, so I asked him what kind of signs, how he's going to let you know that he's around. And for one thing, he actually blew in my hair. You can see how spiky my hair is. A lot of hairspray on it, so I don't know what your hair looks like. But he actually like poof, like a little puff of air, like he went. So imagine what that would feel like. So if you feel that, and of course he did it on the right. This is my right side. Some videos look backwards. So it was kind of in this area. So if you feel like what feels like a little puff of air, not the whole side of your head, little puff of air, breeze won't count. That'll be him trying to get your attention. And he also showed me a feather, which he says he thinks you will understand. The feather's easier to start out with because that's kind of a universal sign that everybody knows now. And they're easy to do. But you're going to find them in strange place. Like I found one this morning as I was reading a response from a lady about one of her readings, and it was a wonderful response. But as I was reading it, I felt my head pulled up, and I had to lean to the side, and there's a feather stuck on the side of my light, just on the slant. It's literally stuck there. So I sent her a picture of it this morning. And so you'll find them in the weirdest places like that. How long has that thing been sitting there? I never saw it, and I sit here every day, all day long, pretty much, and never noticed it until I was reading her response. So that's the way the real clear signs work, and it's something. I don't know that he's exactly figured out what he's going to do for sure yet, but the thing that repeats over and over and over and over, and even me, it took me 10 times going to the cemetery to one person, and I finally said, all right, where's my freaking sign? I'm tired of this. I know that there's signs out there. And here came the white butterfly again for the 10th time, 10th visit, and it came and it circled around me and it left. And I went, there's your sign, Rhonda. It's happened every single time. So he wants me to tell you that story so you understand. If it's something that reminds you of him, or if it's one of the common signs and you get it over and over and over, that's him trying to get through to you. So even if it's something that I don't pick up on or he doesn't tell me today, keep that in mind. He said there's also going to be a smell, but it's more like it's not like a cologne smell. It's not really a smoky smell. It's more like a musky smell, like I don't want to say body odor, because I don't mean BO. I don't mean a nasty smell. I mean a manly smell. So when he's pacing through the living room, you might get a whiff of a manly smell. Let's call it that. And you could actually get that in a store, car, wherever you're at. And he just keeps whispering in my ear, tell her I love her, tell her I love her. He's trying to tell you that, and he's showing me that he's on my right side. And they did it a lot on the right side because my bob stays on my left side, so they usually stay over here. And so you might possibly hear it. You might turn your head and think you heard something. You did. You will. Or it might just be a buzzing in your ear, or a muttering in your ear, mumbling. You're not going crazy. It's him trying to tell you that he loves you and he's still here. And he's taking this blanket and he's laying down and he's covering up with it, like cuddling under it. So I don't know what it is about this blanket. That's not for me to know. None of my business. Hopefully you know. He's talking about, first he said chop chop, and then he showed me chopsticks. You're beautiful just the way you are. Stop trying to change it. He says you need to let your light inside show. Stop hiding your light. Stop covering your light up. Let your light shine. He says you're hiding it in like this. You're afraid of what the world, you're afraid of the world. Nah, I probably didn't say that right. Say it again. You're afraid to let your light shine out there because you're afraid what the world is going to do to your light. That may not be the way I want to say it either. I know what he's getting at. Stop being afraid of them. Be you. He says you're keeping the real you inside of you, and he's making a big deal out of this. He says if any of them bother you, he'll trip them. I wouldn't be surprised. He's he's big and strong, but he feels like a gentle giant, like a teddy bear. I mean, when he came at me when he first came in and he wanted to do the big hug, he felt like a big teddy bear. He says other people's judgments, and he doesn't want you to worry about other people's judgments. He says, fuck them. Fuck them if they can't take a joke. And he says again, you're beautiful. You can't be happy while you're hiding. Okay, now he's showing me shoes. They look like dress shoes, but that I don't think that's going to make any difference as far as what type of shoe it is. One of them's going to disappear, or one of them's going to get moved away from the other one where you can't find it for a while or something. But a shoe, and it probably is going to happen repeatedly, is you set two shoes down, one's going to go somewhere else, or one's going to get kicked back away when you're not looking. So when any of these things happen, the beep beep or any of the stuff, when you know it's him, say, thank you, I love you, Dad, bring me more. I acknowledge the signs, acknowledge your love for him, thank him for it, and then it kind of opens like floodgates, and then you start getting all kinds of stuff. Now he's showing a coin on the floor too. So he's using the universal signs mostly. Maybe he thinks you need to learn those first, and then there'll be others. But when you pick them up, and they'll be in a strange place. It's not just like I can't remember. I found one in a really strange place the other day. It was really weird. I don't remember where it was though now. Look at the date. Look at the year on it. A lot of times the year on it is significant. He says, tell her I'm just around the corner. Now, now the back of my ear is tickling. Now this is different. This is different than my head itching from their energy. Literally on the crap. And they usually try to show me exactly where they're going to do it. Literally on the back of my ear. Hope there's no dirt back there. Almost right where it meets my head. It tickled like, my hair hasn't moved, so, but it didn't really feel like a hair tickling, but it was a tickle. It was a tickle like there was something there. So that'll be another sign. He's going to let you know he's around. But he said he doesn't want to flood you with too many and confuse you. He says you've done all right. You've done all right by yourself. Not by yourself, but for yourself, I should say. He said by. Anyway, I won't spend time explaining that. For yourself. You've done all right. In his eyes, you've done all right. And he gets really solemn, getting very, very solemn. And he says, he didn't deserve you. He didn't deserve your love. He doesn't feel like he earned your love. And yet, then he's showing you when you were really little. So I usually ask him not to show memories like from when you were too little to remember now. But, and I'm going to say 2, 3, 4, somewhere in there, you were daddy's girl. You were daddy's girl. Even if he wasn't around, you were wanting daddy. Daddy, 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 he says. And then he says he took it for granted. Then he's showing you two literally butting heads. Just don't, like, actually hitting heads together is the way he's showing it. Butting heads. He says that's okay. Sometimes you made me want to pull my hair out, but that's okay. Love is all that matters. Tell her, he says, tell her, tell her, tell her, tell her I love her, tell her, tell her. He loves you very much. He says, be caring. Don't let your wounds make you hard and cold. Always be loving. And once again, he says, let your light shine. Let the light out. He says you have a lot to offer. You're not trusting that. You're not believing in yourself, that you have that light to offer. And then it's like he's opening two big doors, and this light is just pouring out. He says that's what he wants you to do. Show them the beauty you have inside. So he's blowing kisses. He's getting ready to leave. Don't forget I love you. He actually leaned over and gave me a kiss right here, and that's for me. He's thanking me. Tell her I'll be around. Tell her love never dies. And cherish each moment. Don't take it for granted. Don't take life too serious. It's actually a piece of cake. And with that, he's leaving. And he's humming a tune as he leaves, but I can't quite hear it. To me, it sounds like just some aimless humming because I can't make a song out of it. Okay, he's leaving. Okay, so I hope that answered some of your questions, and I hope that you open up and see those signs and acknowledge them. And he loves you very much, and he is watching out over you. I promise you. Watch for the pacing in your house. You could possibly hear it or feel it or smell it or something and going back and forth, back and forth. So much love to you, my dear. Thank you for trusting me with your loved one and allowing me to be their voice. See you later. Rhonda Constant, your favorite hometown medium, physical energy healer, oracle card advisor, and paranormal investigator. Much love to you.